Greetings, PlayStation adepts. Today, the PlayStation Store launched the second part of the Spring Sale with discounts on April 27th, and I chose among them the most interesting offers in my opinion. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 for $45.49. This is a first-person shooter with realistic military fighting. The storyline campaign will tell about the Operational Tactical Group 141 under the command of Captain Price, who must stop Major Al-Qatala Hassan. The Callisto Protocol for $35.99. The events of the Callisto Protocol take place in the year 2320 on Jupiter's moon Callisto, where players will have to escape from the Black Iron prison and reveal its terrifying secrets. In the game you will have to face terrible monsters that strive to tear the main character to pieces, and the sound atmosphere of the game is able to catch up with suspense and make the player start to be afraid of every dark corner. That's just the combat, and diversity of enemies is weak. The Last of Us Part 2 for $9.99. This is a third-person action with elements of stealth and survival horror, telling the story of a world after a global epidemic where a very small part of the population survived, forced to fight the zombies inhabiting the world. I don't think that the plot of Last of Us 2 will leave anyone indifferent. Someone will like it, someone will annoy or upset, but hardly anyone will care. The game is a continuation of the cult story of what would happen if there was an epidemic of a fungus on Earth that turns people into zombies infected. The plot of the game unfolds 5 years after the events of the first part. The life of the heroes has undergone serious changes. The main character is Ellie, who has become a more experienced survivor, who has her own team. The second main character is Abby, a new character in the series who is Ellie's rival. Each character has its own unique narrative line, which gradually connects with the story of another hero. The game has new combat mechanics and wonderful graphics, which creates an exciting and intense adventure. The Last of Us Part 2 is one of the most anticipated games of the year and certainly attracted the attention of fans of the series and new players. Cyberpunk 2077 for $24.99. This is an action with elements of a first-person RPG whose actions take place in the metropolis of Night City, where implants are widely used to strengthen the body and sense organs or to gain new abilities. The player controls the mercenary Vi, who was assigned to steal a mysterious biochip from the Arasaka Corporation, which will later put Vi's life at risk and force him to get involved in the disassembly of corporations and various street groups. Call of Duty Modern Warfare for $19.79. This is a relaunch of the legendary Call of Duty Modern Warfare series, which tells about the modern war. The game features beheading, dismemberment, torture, killing of children, gas attacks. Because of what the game was assigned an M rating. Also, the charismatic Captain Price, remembered by many, returns to the game. Gran Turismo 7 for $39.59. The game is closer to car simulators, where mistakes are not forgiven, and to win the race you really need to try. Arcade fans can ride with bots by turning on, for example, autopilot or other auxiliary systems, which will greatly simplify driving. But the entire Gran Turismo juice is in competitive mode with other players. Please note that there are bigger discounts on Gran Turismo 7, for example, 40% instead of 29%, as now, so if you are not in a hurry, you can wait and buy the game later. Spider-Man Miles Morales for $39.89. This is a third-person action that is a sequel to the original 2018 game. Peter Parker temporarily leaves New York and leaves his protege Miles Morales in charge. After a very short time, a war begins in the city between Roxxon Energy Corporation and the high-tech criminal group Underground. This edition is perfect for players who have a PS5 and they did not pass the original game on PS4, since its remaster with improved graphics is also included here. Ratchet and Clank. Rift Apart for $29.39 is a third-person action adventure where the main villain is the Emperor, who controls robots and wants to destroy all organic life. In addition to new weapons and gadgets, a new game character has also appeared in the game, a Lombax girl named Rivet. The Dark Pictures Anthology Season 1 for $59.99. This includes 4 parts of the first season of interactive horror films The Dark Pictures Anthology. Man of Medan, Little Hope, House of Ashes and Devil in Me. If you like interactive movies, then this anthology is definitely worth buying. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Complete Edition for $24.99. This is a third-person action RPG about a witcher named Geralt, who is looking for a girl Ciri, who has great magical power and helps people along the way, solving their problems related to monsters. This edition also includes 2 major plot additions. Hearts of Stone and Blood and Wine, Dying Light Definitive Edition for $9.99. This is a zombie first-person action game in an open world with elements of survival horror. The combat system is based on the use of various types of weapons, primarily cold ones, like baseball bats, hammers, axes, sledgehammers, machetes, etc., which can be modified with the help of various junk mined in the city. In addition to the main game, this edition includes the following story supplement: the Bozak Pack mode with an independent side story, 2 additional quarantine zones, unique weapons and skins, as well as a new Hellraid game mode in the genre of dark fantasy, World War Z Aftermath for $19.99. This is a cooperative third-person shooter where the player will need to break through hordes of zombies on various maps around the world. It includes the GOTY edition of the main game, 2 new story campaigns, a first-person mode, new characters, an additional class, new opponents and a redesigned melee system. Doom Eternal Deluxe Edition for $23.09. This is one of the best adrenaline first-person shooters in which you have to become the defender of humanity and destroy the demons trying to take over the planet. The Deluxe Edition includes the main game, the Ancient Gods supplement, as well as skin and classic weapon sounds. Metro Exodus for $5.99. This is a first-person shooter that takes place in post-apocalyptic Russia, where the player must fight mutated animals and brutalize people in order to survive and protect his family and friends. Shadow Warrior 3 for $19.99. The new part of the brutal first-person action about the Japanese corporate ninja Lo Wan tells about his confrontation with a giant dragon who is trying to start the end of the world. The gameplay of the third part is very cheered up, got new colors, weapons and opportunities for the hero, which will allow you to chop enemies gracefully and spectacularly and turn them into bloody mincemeat. Alien Isolation Collection for $7.99. This is a survival horror with elements of stealth, telling about the daughter of Ellen Ripley, who is trying to find out about the fate of her mother, serving as a technician on space tugs. The player will have to quietly and imperceptibly explore locations in search of the necessary items and ingredients for crafting in order to resist xenomorphs and survive on the space station. This collection includes 7 DLC. Snowrunner for $19.99. This is a car simulator where you need to deliver goods to different places while driving over rough terrain. The game has a realistic simulation of the landscape, various weather conditions, mud, water flows, snow and frozen lake. Sid Meier's Civilization V Platinum Edition for $14.99. This is a 4X strategy game where the player has to manage and develop a civilization in the period from the ancient world to the present. You will have to start with a small tribe and then gradually expand it, creating new settlements, conquering others or arranging alliances with them in order to eventually conquer the entire planet. This edition also includes the Rise and Fall and Gathering Storm add-ons. Crash Bandicoot Quadrilogy Kit for $35.99. This set includes remakes of the trilogy of adventure platformers Crash Bandicoot N. Sane Trilogy and Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time. Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 2. This is a first-person shooter where the player will take on the role of a hired sniper killer and perform tasks in the Middle East region on the border of Lebanon and Syria. The game features realistic sniper gameplay, an arsenal of weapons based on real samples and large game locations. In addition to working with a sniper rifle at long distances, the player will have to sneak into enemy bases, fighting in close combat. Cult of the Lamb for $16.24. This is a roguelike action game whose gameplay is divided into managing a cultist settlement that needs to be pumped and expanded, as well as running through dungeons to fight heretics and collecting resources for crafting and new buildings along the way. Write in the comments what good discounts were not included in the video and what games you will buy for yourself. Like, subscribe to my channel, press the bell and turn on all notifications so as not to miss other videos about discounts in the PS Store and buy games cheap. Play and win. See ya.